Let's see.
We took quite the detour. It was time-consuming, but finally, we got the information we need. We crush the Empire, we get Lady Rhea back. 2 birds, 1 stone. First, we take Fort Mercius. I'll put my heart in it. I'll crack him like a rusty helmet.
We defeated Lord Arundel. The Emperor must have been surprised. If we can keep up that fervor, perhaps we'll capture Fort Mercius and move on to the Imperial capital. We must not be overconfident, though. You're optimistic. Humans and beasts are ultimately the same. When they're cornered, they lash out however they can. They fight for their lives. Who knows how the Emperor will lash out? We have to be careful.
Fighting is what I do. This is it! Is that all? All for Lady Rhea. Fighting is what I do. All for Lady Rhea. Fighting is what I do.
Let's see.
Professor, I have excitement in my heart for secret tactics. I enjoy attacks that are surprising. I thought we could be using attacks like that at this fortress. But I am hearing a different thing. A brute force attack with all of our power, yes? Attacks that are surprising are also safer. Attacking from the front is dangerous. But I will give you all of my fighting spirit, Professor.
Let's see. My family made it through the conflict unscathed. Thank the goddess. It seems that Deirdre was the only place to really get caught up in the fighting. Did Claude intend to spare the Alliance territories from harm? If so, he's a truly admirable leader. Speaking of Claude, I wonder where he is.
I love a good fortress. The perfect place to hide. This one's impregnable too, isn't it? Perfect! As soon as we take it, I'll set up a special spot for Bernie. I guess you have a point. What would you call it then? A little pregnable? Oh, Professor! Good timing. You have to talk some sense into my father. Recently, he's been doing nothing but work himself to the bone. Even when he's taking breaks from training and errands, he's apparently listening to reports, day in and day out. He's getting on in years, you know? I just want him to take care of himself. Professor, we're finally going to attack the Empire? I'm actually getting a little nervous. Please defeat the Emperor and save Lady Rhea. I'll be waiting here with all of the necessary preparations for a huge celebration. Maybe.
Attacking an impregnable fortress head-on is rather impressive. Or suicidal. Depends on the day, really. You know Fort Mercius's nickname, I assume. The stubborn old general? It may be stubborn, but its age means it's gotta be hiding a few weak spots. Makes sense to aim for those areas.
Professor!
Let's see. Is it true Lady Rhea was taken to the Empire? Why'd they take Lady Rhea? Professor, they didn't take her to kill her, did they? Yeah, good point. If they did, we'd have heard about it by now. You gotta help her, Professor. I'm begging you.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Is it true that we'll be assaulting Fort Mercius next? That doesn't sound like the brightest idea. I've heard that it's built to withstand an attack from even the largest of armies. And not to tell you how to do your job, but don't do it. I'm not ready to say my final goodbyes to everyone.
Unbelievable. The Alliance is just gone. It's hard to believe. The merchants of Deirdre all have nerves of steel. I'm sure they'll be up and running again in no time.
Professor? You know, Professor, laying siege to a keep is like asking a girl out on a date. First, you get past her defenses, then you make your move. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I'm a seasoned veteran at this kind of thing. Girls, I mean. I've never actually, captured any keeps. Anyway, I figure you go after the main gate. You take that out, and I'm sure we can win. Of course, you're making the tactical calls. I'm happier to follow than to lead.
The Death Knight is guarding Fort Mercius, the same one who was linked to Monica and to Flame's abduction 5 years ago. Anyway, he's one of the monsters responsible for Captain Gerald's death. We have to defeat him.
The Alliance dissolved so suddenly. Now there's widespread pandemonium. The lords are warring, mass confusion among the citizens. Or, that's what I expected to happen. None of that seems to be taking place. They had a roundtable meeting and talked it out. Everyone's dealing very calmly with the situation. I guess if Dimitri turns out to be a crazed despot, then there really will be chaos. But he's not gonna go crazy again. He's okay now, right?
Definitely. I traveled to Kingdom territory because I was nearby. I did some good business. Apparently, supplies are needed to reconstruct the Kingdom capital and the surrounding towns. I wonder where I should go next.
The Archbishop has been taken to the Empire, just as we thought. But why hasn't Edelgard killed her yet? If she intended to use her as a hostage, she'd have publicly announced that she was unharmed. We don't know what the Emperor's intentions are. All we can do is fight on and pray the Archbishop is okay. The Archbishop, if she... We don't know...
Doesn't matter how sturdy the keep. If the commander defending it is incompetent, it can fall as easy as anything. That's what they say, at least. I wonder if that applies to Fort Mercius. All I know is, if I was the Emperor, I'd never in a million years assign an incompetent commander to a fort as important as that one.
Death Knight. Going to fight the Death Knight. To be perfectly honest, I am.
Hi there!
The majority is with us. This conflict will end soon. I am so moved by the decision that Claude and the Alliance nobles have made. That is true nobility, acting in accordance with the people's needs and wishes. As war drags on, those living near the front lines inevitably get the worst of it. Still, Edelgard will not give in. She will push to complete her mission, no matter how many people die. Not everyone with noble blood has noble ideals.
So Lady Rhea was in the Empire all this time. Wish I'd known that 5 years ago, but there's nothing we can do about it now. What we can do, though, is topple the Empire. Will you seize victory with us, Professor? For the sake of the late Captain!
Okay. I've come here after getting chased out of the Empire. There's no place for our kind there anymore. But there are still many inside Empire territory who haven't abandoned their faith in the Church of Seros. I pray that one day we'll get the chance to rebuild the Church within the Empire.
Definitely.
Oh my. The Alliance has really been disbanded? I never thought such a thing could happen. As long as it doesn't negatively impact our lives, I don't care much whether we're the Kingdom or the Alliance.
With the Empire destroyed, the borders within Fodlan will likely become a thing of the past. With that, the rules of trade will change. Personally, I'm excited to see what these changes will bring.
Hi.
Have you heard of the Crescent Moon War? That's when the Alliance won their independence from the Kingdom. Some 300 years ago, the ruling Duke of Leicester died without an heir, and the lords with blood ties to House Blythe took that chance to propose ruling the Leicester territory as a republic. The head of House Regan led the Leicester lords and fought fiercely with Farkas. They won independence from the kingdom, and now, here we are.
How's this?
Wake up, eat, train, eat, sleep. We gotta prepare for the assault, but that hasn't changed my routine. All that training and eating I do is for the sake of Fodlan. Gotta stay strong and fed to keep it safe.
Weren't the Kingdom and Alliance once part of the same country? If you think about it that way, it makes sense for them to unite. I suppose the Kingdom was once part of the Empire as well. Even if Fodlan came together, I wouldn't be surprised if it fell apart again.
I love to cook. What are we making today? Is that so? I have a lot of experience in the kitchen. I can make just about anything. Wow.
How about that?
That looks appetizing.
I'm grateful I get to eat every day. May the goddess bless this fine meal.
Professor! Fort Mercius is next, huh? Ah, the memories. It's a huge stronghold in my father's domain. The town's completely surrounded by high walls. I used to run around there when I was a kid. Way back when a fortress was just a playground for me. Yeah, those were the days.
That reminds
I wonder where Claude will go. From the sound of it, he's leaving Fodlan altogether. He was strangely gallant about the whole thing. Even left his relic behind. Elusive and mysterious to the end, isn't he?
Just as we suspected. Lady Rhea was taken to the Imperial capital. We must get to the capital as quickly as possible. So many people are worried sick about her. I do wonder when Claude managed to learn Lady Rhea's whereabouts. He's pretty shrewd. I can't help but admire him.
Now that the Alliance has been dissolved, what will become of the nobility? No, my adoptive father knows how to get by. I'm sure he'll do well for himself in the kingdom. All of Fodlan is going to change. I suppose I'll have to change with it.
Perhaps something about Lord Arundel rubbed me the wrong way. There was something off about him. Not that I've ever heard anything good about him. Have you ever heard of the Harim family? Correct. Their lands are due south of the Ordelia territory. Since Edelgard's rule, Lord Arundel had been governing the territory. It seems like his reign was particularly cruel. The people there suffered greatly under him. He seemed to be a good and just person at one point. It simply doesn't make sense.
I hope this song...
Music speaks...
Fort Mercius is the Empire's single most fortified military installation. Utterly impregnable, they say. I wonder, do you happen to know the nickname given to Fort Mercius? That one is a fortress that stands at Fodlan's throat. Seems Fodlans give everyone and everything a nickname. Why, you were called the Ashen Demon. Myself, I have been called the Father of Crestology, which is a nickname as well as a title, I suppose.
It appears that Claude has dissolved the Alliance. He's thrown away the pride of all the Leicester lords who have walked the path of independence from Fargus for generations. I said from the start that he was not suitable to lead. Well, times have changed, haven't they? I suppose we can trust the kingdom now.
From this point onward, we're in all-out war with the Empire. Are you prepared, Professor? I'm glad to hear it. That means we can approach the coming battles with peace of mind. First, we capture Fort Mercius. The fighting will undoubtedly be brutal, but we must prevail. As far as this army and I are concerned, you're our last ray of hope. We are relying on you.
Claude has stepped down from leadership, and Leicester is now a vassal state of Fargus. The lords of the Western Kingdom are beginning to declare fealty to us in greater numbers also. The Empire is our only remaining enemy. So...
Even in the kingdom, only a few people knew about His Highness and Edelgard's relationship. Me? I always knew those two to be like brother and sister. To think that we would come to see this world, where they are at war with one another. I live it, and can still barely imagine such a truth.
Could I talk, Professor?
Yeah. So, we're finally invading Empire territory, huh? There's not much we can do right now, except pray for deliverance. I truly believe that we have it in us to succeed.
Fort Mercius is a keep that was constructed to defend the imperial capital, Enbar. We cannot enter the capital without first capturing that fort. But once we have it, the city should be almost entirely at our mercy. Now that we know Rhea is there, we must move with the utmost urgency.
The Death Knight. I shudder to think of him. Professor, you remember my connection to him, do you not? What? You have forgotten about when I was kidnapped 5 years ago? I am still working through the trauma from back then. All these years later. If we meet him, I swear I will have my revenge.
Each step closer to Enbar, I'm reminded of another part of my past. Riches and poverty, glory and failure. That city has it all. And if I'm honest, sometimes I miss it. That's how the past works, though, isn't it? It's always a different story than what you really lived.
The Leicester Alliance is no more. 300 years of history. Gone and done. They write operas about events like this, you know? I'm sure they'll have a talented and beautiful songstress playing you. And with Dimitri at your side, well, they'll probably contrive some kind of romance to keep things interesting.
Hey you, listen up. I've got something to report. The Alliance is a thing of the past now. Times are changing fast these days. It's hard to keep up, even for me. I wonder if Abyss is on the verge of change too. Change leads to uncertainty, and uncertainty leads to... change? I don't know. I'm just a guard.
Claude abandoned the Alliance and ran off. I have a pretty good idea of where he went. Where anyone would go in his situation. Somewhere he belongs. Good question. Here's a hint. He's probably not in Fodlan anymore. He may be gone, but he left his troubles behind. Now it's on us to clean up his mess.
It's not that I don't sympathize with Lady Edelgard's goals, mind you, but perhaps not to the point of shedding blood for her ideals. I must keep her example in mind as I chart a new path. Peace in Fodlan and a restored House Nouvelle shall be my guiding star as I blaze my own trail.
So the Alliance is finished, is it? The leader's gone? That damn prince. Seems my role here is at an end. No matter. Should another chance present itself, I'll take a less subtle route.
We need to mop up the mess in the kingdom quickly. My family lives in Fargus, as do my people. I want to avoid exposing them to danger. My mother. She's been ill for a long time now. Moving her away just isn't an option. So for them, more than anything, I hope we can end this swiftly and give everyone the lives they deserve.
Everyone seems pumped about fighting the Empire at long last. Personally, I find it difficult to get excited about killing people, no matter what side they're on. I'm on yours. It's that simple. If you fought alongside the Imperial Army, so would I.
Oh.
This is...
my absolute favorite.
I'll find.
You're eating.
I appreciate.
I've eaten.
Eating food.
Oh!
Weren't the king? If you think about, I suppose the king, even if folks.
Flayn? What is the matter? Is something weighing on your mind again? It is freezing out here. You should be bundled up in your warm bed.
Listen, Dimitri, the truth is, I am afraid of sleeping.
Afraid of it? Why?
I am afraid that when I close my eyes, I shall fall into a very deep sleep, one from which I cannot wake up for years upon years. Then, when I finally awaken, everyone I know and love will be long gone, vanished with the sands of time. I am sure it seems silly, but try as I might, I cannot shake this fear.
I cannot quite grasp what you are describing, but I can promise you one thing. No matter how many years go by, I will always remember you.
I appreciate the sentiment. Even so, one day...
Listen carefully, Flayn. There is something I have been wanting to tell you.
Oh? What is that?
You know that dish you made the other day? It was so sweet, it made my tongue go numb.
I am not so sure that is a good thing.
Well, I could only really taste the first bite, so I may have been imagining it. But still, I was so happy. That moment will always put a smile on my face whenever I remember it. I could never forget you, Flayn. I promise. Besides, we have fought side by side. We are friends. I am sure all of the others would say the same. Is something the matter?
You really do not pick up on subtle cues, do you?
Cues?
Well, It is all a part of your charm, I suppose. With you here, I finally feel I can sleep without having to worry at all.
Hey, wait! I did not mean for you to fall asleep right here.
Someday you appreciate food.
Flame... she is hopeless.
Why, hello there. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. Come back soon now.
Hello there, Dedu. I just want to say that I am really terribly sorry.
For what?
I tried to cook on my own. It was an absolute disaster. Adding that seasoning. Adding all that seasoning. What a mistake.
Mistakes happen.
But Chef, that is, Dedu, I defied your instructions. Quite blatantly, I might add. I tried to cook before I had gained mastery over the tools. I have been a terrible student. Are you going to stop teaching me now?
Is that what you want?
Not in the slightest. I desperately want to learn from you.
As you were then.
Truly?
You have not disappointed me. The food itself tasted awful, of course, but there was more to it than that. I could feel the thought you put into it, the wish to please others, to be faithful to what you've learned.
You actually ate the food I made?
I did. The ingredients were chopped to perfection. You also seem to have learned how to handle fish without my instruction.
I learned by watching you.
You have talent. One day you will surpass me.
I was certain you would be angry with me. It is decided then. Someday, you will exclaim that something I made is delicious. I do not quite know how many years it will take, but I am willing to rise to the challenge. Please help me get there.
I will. However long it takes, I look forward to it. Now, your next lesson will consist of the selection and seasoning of ingredients.
Of course, Chef. Dedu, rather.
Call me whatever you want.
Oh, this is so exciting! Let me see. Chef Dedu, Master Chef Duda, oh, Supreme Chef Deddy Pie!
I suppose I've already committed.
Oh, I know! Chef Deddles!
Are you praying, Ignatz? Are you concerned about something?
A little. I'm coming to accept that I will never be an artist. I'm self-taught, so my style and technique are probably all wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. Besides, how could I persuade my father? I can't even imagine his reaction. He'd disown me.
It takes courage to stray from the path that has been set out for you. It's never easy. I'm in a similar position. I've been carrying out my adoptive father's wishes up until this point. But... It's never a bad thing to have dreams. That's how I feel, at least. I can't imagine a life in which I'd given up on my dreams. How could anyone find happiness in that? Even with your father's demands, you can still work toward one small dream at a time.
You know, I suppose you're right. My dream of being an artist gives me the energy to go on. You're really wise, Mercedes.
Oh, goodness. That's not how most people would describe me. I just don't want you to give up on your art. Besides, I genuinely do want to see your painting of the goddess.
Really? I'm pleased to hear you say so. You said you're in the same position as I am. What did you mean by that?
My future has been decided for me as well. I'm to be married off to a nobleman.
What?
Is it really that surprising? I think many young women face the same fate.
So, will you get married?
I suppose I haven't given it much thought. Whatever may happen, I'm sure everything will work out in the end if I don't give up on my dreams.
Everything will work out in the end. Mercedes, you're amazing. I think that whatever you do, wherever you go, you'll help a lot of people. You're so kind. I know you can... Oh.
What's wrong, Ignatz? You have a strange look on your face.
For my whole life, I've wanted to paint the goddess, but I never could. Whatever shape I gave her, she never seemed quite right. But it's just come to me.
It's wonderful how inspiration can strike so suddenly. Quick, paint before you lose it.
I will. Will you help me?
I'd be happy to help, but I'm not sure what I can do.
Don't you see? The goddess I imagined and tried to paint so many times. She's you. I have to get my supplies. Stay right there.
Well, to say such a thing directly before the altar, that must be some kind of sin. I'll say an extra prayer for him.
Finally, you've arrived. I was beginning to get impatient. Have a seat.
What are you on about?
I'm not on about anything. Let's have dinner together, Yuri.
What is this? Did you make it?
I did. It's a simple dish. My culinary skills are fairly basic.
Hold on. What exactly is this about?
You cook for me, I cook for you. That's how this works. It may not be quite as elegant a meal as that of a Drestian or Leicester cuisine, but the food of Fargus is delicious nonetheless.
Thank you for the meal. It was lovely, Ingrid. The flavors were nostalgic. Reminded me of when I lived with my mother and the Elder. I was actually born in a poor town in Fargus. The flavors in this dish remind me of those days. Sorry. I didn't mean to compare a meal made by nobility with the meager food I grew up eating.
No offense taken. To tell the truth, although my house is a noble one, it's also lacking in money. Our territory was struck by famine, and we ate whatever the land gave us, which wasn't much. We took what we could, just like everyone.
I see. Well, I must say that your cooking is quite to my taste. Any meal made with so much thought and care is bound to be delicious.
Why, thank you. High praise indeed, from someone who knows their way around a kitchen.
To survive in this world means to sharpen many skills, whether it's cooking or anything else, really. Although I've got to say, I do enjoy cooking. And if my meals can bring a smile to someone's face, all the better. Celebrating victories with friends, sitting around a table with loved ones, watching someone enjoy the meal I made them. Few things bring me more joy.
Have you ever considered giving up being the Lord of the Underworld and becoming a chef instead?
A chef, huh? You know, that doesn't sound half bad.
If you ever do, I'd come to your restaurant and eat whatever you'd whipped up every day.
I'd like that very much. I'd work extra hard so I could see that lovely smile of yours.
You are just too much. I can hardly maintain my composure around you.
Did I say something wrong?
Not at all, Yuri. Not at all.
Hey, Caspar. Can I ask you something?
Well, hey there, Annette. What's on your mind?
Is there anything you pay particular attention to on the battlefield? Stuff you make sure not to mess up? I don't want to make any major mistakes again. So I've been thinking about how I can improve. But it's trickier than I thought. I was hoping you could give me some direction.
Nothing I can think of. Sometimes you just gotta mess up.
Hmm? Really? Nothing at all?
Nah, no matter how much you prepare, you're always gonna make mistakes. All you can do is quit worrying and try your best.
I guess that does sound like something you'd say. But I'm not sure how much use it is to me.
That's too bad. It's a great way to live. You worry about messing up, and all that worry makes you nervous, right? So being nervous on the battlefield is the reason you make mistakes you'd never make in training.
Well, yes. People's lives are on the line. If I mess up, they might actually die. When I think that my failures might put everyone in danger,
Ugh, you gotta quit doubting yourself. It's not helping. You're obsessing about failures that haven't even happened. What's the point in that? Sometimes you're gonna mess up no matter how hard you train. That's life.
So what you're saying is, I should stop being afraid of failure and just try my hardest on the battlefield, like I do in training.
Was I not clear on that? You just gotta deal with your mistakes when you make them.
That really is just like you, Caspar. I'm starting to feel stupid for worrying so much. You're so strong and confident. I really like that about you.
Aw, thanks, Annette. I think you're great too.
Okay, I'm gonna try following your example from now on. It's time I stopped moping around here and put everything I've got into training. Right, Caspar?
That's the spirit. Let's get out there and train. I'll race you to the stables.
Yeah!
This...
Of course. Growth.
Look. Ah. Look.
Who's that? You're
May I be...
You have great...
Professor.
Thanks.
I'm counting on you. Happy now?
That worked out well.
I work to... Yes, I'll try to put...
I always...
I'll make
Impressed yet?
Listen to...
I'm getting...